to everyone here in the audience, to our council members, mayor, Madam Treasurer, Deputy Clerk, Chief of Staff. Today's date is Monday, May 12th, 2025, and this is the City of Romulus City Council Special Meeting Public Hearing. This hearing is for the public to have an opportunity to provide input on the proposed 25-26 fiscal year city budgets pursuant to Chapter 9, Section 9.3 of the Romulus City Charter. At this time, we will have roll call. Councilwoman Abdo.
Here.
Councilman Barden. I'm sorry, he's excused. Councilman Kraut.
Here.
Councilman Jones. Here. Councilwoman Roscoe.
Here.
Councilwoman Talley. And
Here.
Councilman Wadsworth is excused. So noted. Madam Chair, we have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Tonight's special meeting public hearing, the agenda is as follows. Roll call. 2, Agenda 3, the public hearing discussion is the City of Romulus 2025-26 fiscal year budget pursuant to Romulus City Charter Chapter 9, Section 9.3. Number 4 is public comment. Number 5 is adjournment. And a motion will be in order to accept tonight's public hearing agenda as presented.
So moved to accept the agenda as presented.
A motion by Ms. Abdo, supported by Mr. Jones for the approval of the special meeting, public hearing meeting. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Jones? Yes. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
Thank you, City Council. Number 3, we are now in the public hearing discussion, and I'm going to turn it over to our Director of Finance, Maria Ferris.
It's not working.
No, we're recording, so we'll have to speak in the mic.
You do have to speak into the, okay.
There's a record list there.
That would be better.
Okay, hello.
We'll wait.
We are all here, okay. Always making an entrance, okay. So we are here tonight to discuss the public hearing on May 12th. And as our clerk stated, this is according to the Romulus City Charter, Chapter 9, Section 9.3. Our previous study sessions were held on Monday, April 14th and April 28th. Today is a recap of those study sessions. A couple highlights I'd like to share is regarding the general fund and the major funds that were discussed, and any other new funds or anything that was closed. Also, too, I'd like to share, at that time I did not get to share, it's because I'm taller, Mayor, I'm in here. And it was a slide that I wanted to go over with you, Council, is just stating that how we are with our financial fiscal responsibility. So, in 24-25, the general fund expenses are falling under the amended budget, which I didn't get to address that last time. Also, too, in 24-25, the general fund revenues are anticipated to come in over, which is good. Also, the increase of revenue is the result of the building permits and new development, and also a slight increase of tax revenue. Also, what's crucial and important is our general fund balance. It remains consistent and stable, which is part of the industry standard, which are best practices that a community should be at a minimum of a fund balance of 20 to 25%. And the good news is the city is meeting that industry standard. So that is something else I wanted to share.
Nice.
Also, too, just going through the budget process, kind of walking through the steps of we start our process in December, but early January is like our official kickoff. So we have our meeting January 9th, administrative staff meets, and we lay out our roadmap of how the budget's going to look. Typically, this wraps up late March, so we align and set up time, and there's a lot of administrative work that comes into, editing the budget, presenting the budget. Then that leads up to sending out the prelim budget. So the prelim budget is sent out, and this is year 5 for me. by April 1st. We send it out electronically to council, administrative staff for your review. So then that leads us up to here, right? After we have our 2 study sessions, we come to our public hearing. Let's see. And at that time, when we email out our prelim budget, finance is always there and open for any questions, any support. If there's any additional information that's needed, we are there for, city residents, council, mayor, chief of staff, administrative staff. Just a few things in this budget, as I noted last session, is there were some increases in the police department, some in infrastructure, and also 2 in motor vehicle. And that's, again, to address our city's aging fleet. So some of those purchases were a fire truck and then additional support vehicles for the city. As always, when we go through the budget process, our main objective has been to preserve fund balance. The expenses that we request are what we need, and continuously look at ways to increase our revenue. So that leads me on to the next steps. At this time, I can answer any outstanding questions that were from April 14th or April 28th study sessions. However, if there's no questions, we move on to the May 27th, so that will be our next meeting. And at that time, the General Appropriations Act will come out. And at that time, we will have the city and the 34th District Court. And with that will be, along with the associated millages to support our budget.
Any questions, council? Nothing? Well, I'm gonna make a comment, because again, I sat a part of the budget process, and it's just amazing what you guys, the department heads know they know their craft. I just get impressed by it, they've been thinking about it. So I just want to thank you guys for what you've done, the directors, and being so cognizant of the dollar, and having such a healthy budget. And I just got to say this, I actually got a chance to go and inventory some of the fleet, and we take stuff to the limit. Ain't no frugalness. We take stuff to the limit, and I just thank you for the mayor and the team. I know it's some things that some of the departments here probably want and desire, but my mayor always said needs over wants, and just working together, and everybody just comes together, for the general good of everybody. People defer with their needs for somebody else's needs. It's just a great process. So I just say I'm happy to be a part of it, and even doing the fleet inventory, that, I think Mr. Jones was out there. We got to drive some of the cars around. Just the whole process, through the whole budget process, is just brings us to this point. So thank you guys for all your hard work. It's truly appreciated. I'm just in awe. That's all I can say. Thank you.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
if I can. Also in your packet is included the proposed fee schedule. So if you have any questions, it's like a preliminary thing. All of the proposed fees and increases are all in red. The fee schedule will also be presented with the budget when you all, I think that's the next meeting. So when you all vote on the budget, the fee schedule will also be included with that. So you'll be voting on that as well.
Okay.
So
Now that you bring that up, there was one fee, I see all the increases, everything increased, I get it. But there was one that went down significantly. It was for, under building, registration admin fee for applying for a certificate of occupancy inspection from 210 to 55. That's a big drop. Everything else went up except for that. I was just kind of curious of what that was, Jeff.
Good evening. So you're talking about the city cert, CFO occupational?
8-249.
Let me just find it.
It's in yellow. It's, oh, let me see. Is it numbered? Oh, I'm sorry, 3-6.
Oh, okay, yep, no, I know exactly what that is. So what that is it's kind of part of our rental registration and certificate of occupancy. So it takes, what I've seen in the past is that somebody will buy a home and they do the C of O inspection, which is 210, and if they don't do the rental registration at the same time, even though they know it's gonna be a rental, then they'll come back and we find out it's a rental 6 months later. So then we have to charge them the rental fee, which was $150. Now we made it to where, hey, if you do the C of O inspection and register as a rental at the same time, then you don't get hit with all those fees, because it's you get the C of O inspection fee, and then with that inspection, once we're done with that, we know it's good for a C of O, then it would be good for a rental registration as well, if they register it as a rental. So it's kind of if somebody buys a house and their plan is to make it a rental, gives them the opportunity to let us know right away, so then the fee's less for them,
Okay.
less legwork for us. But that's all that's about, is trying to combine that, so they let us know it's a rental right away.
So it's a net $55 from,
Yeah,
okay.
only if they do it at the same time.
Only if they do it at the
As the
same
C of O
time.
inspection. If they wait 3 months and we find out it's a rental then they have to pay the full fee again.
But how would they know that then, though? How would they know?
Well, most of the time, when people buy a house, they're either buying it to move into it, or
Okay.
they're buying it as an investment house to rent it.
Okay.
And I mean, sometimes you run into times that they may not know if they're gonna sell it or rent it. But
Mm-hmm.
most of the time, when an investor buys, they know what their plan is to do with it.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you, Jeff. Any other questions on the fee schedule? Did you? No? Okay. Nope, I think that's it.
Thank you.
Thanks for bringing that up, Madam Clerk.
So next steps, after the May 27th meeting, our official for our fiscal year, once that budget is approved, will be effective July 1st, 2025. And at that time, all elected officials will receive a hard copy of their budget by request. So if you'd like a hard copy, just request it and we'll make sure that you get one of those. And as well as it will be sent out electronically if you'd like as well.
Thank you.
Is there any more discussion from council? Our finance director, that concludes discussion on this subject.
Thank you, Ellen.
Thanks, Maria.
Thank you. Thank you for all your support too during those
No.
budget meetings.
And you gotta thank me, y'all do your job well. Thank you. Yes, Mayor.
Just one quick comment, because it was brought up with the fleet updates. We did budget the $1 million for the new frontline pumper, because ours that we have now are almost at end of life,
Okay.
or in serviceability, so we want to make sure we had it in the budget. And also Chief Chapman was working with the suppliers on that, where there are some that are rolling off the assembly line in production now, so we want to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
But also, they have community-funded projects that every year that our elected officials and our state reps put out there at the federal level and the state level. And our key asks this year were for that fire truck, so hopefully if we're lucky enough, we'll be reimbursed that.
Okay.
So it's for the fire truck, for public safety, and also infrastructure needs as well. So those are our two biggest asks. We'll continue to chase down those dollars wherever we can. We've been lucky in some areas, but we're gonna keep working on that. But I just wanna let you know that's a
Yeah.
significant purchase of buying that frontline pumper. You were there when I had some heartburn
Yeah.
over it and going, wait,
Yeah.
show me the data before
Yeah.
we pull the trigger on $1 million deal. But we need to make sure when somebody calls 911 that our fire department's there. So it's definitely a vehicle we need to invest in.
Yeah. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you.
Moving on, the agenda calls for public comment, and this is the portion of the agenda for those who are in the audience and who would like to address city council concerning the 25-26 fiscal year budget. To do so, please raise your hand, and after you've been acknowledged by the chairperson, approach the podium, state your name. Please note that you will have 3 minutes to speak.
Any hand? Nope. Nope. You can close that out.
All right, that takes us to number 5, adjournment, and the time is 6:52.
So move to adjourn.
Support. Motion by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Mr. Kraut, to adjourn this special meeting. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, we are adjourned.